After 3 weeks of him molesting me, I was scared to death, okay? I didn't know if I was gonna die. He was threatening me with paddles and a ruler. If I ever said anything at all, he was gonna beat me.
His teacher was this man, Deacon George Brignac. And how old were you?
I was 9 at the time. I was scared to death. I didn't know what to do.
A friend of Anderson's told his mother what was happening, and in 1977, the Andersons were among the first to bring criminal pedophilia charges against a member of the Catholic clergy in New Orleans. The late Fred Bowes was the trial judge and a devout Catholic. He found Brignac not guilty in a bench trial. The defense attorney claimed the children accusing Brignac had, quote, crucified a man who loves children in the purest of ways. The Archdiocese moved Brignac to Our Lady of the Rosary School that year, and then along to Cabrini High School. He was arrested on molestation charges 2 more times in the 1980s. Brignac was arrested again in 2019, this time when 2 men went to the New Orleans Police Department alleging Brignac had raped them in the mid-1980s. One told detectives it started when he was just 3 years old, tagging along when his mother worked at the school cafeteria.
I was, told that if you tell anybody, if you tell anybody, they're going to take you away from your mom and your daddy.
So anywhere from him masturbating on me or dry humping me or him performing oral sex to me or even him performing anal sex to me, raping me, all those things occurred through a prolonged period of time.
Okay, and you say it started about from when?
When I was in 4th grade.
That man, who still wants to remain anonymous, wishes Brignac hadn't died this summer before facing another trial. But he is far more disappointed in the Archdiocese for letting Brignac go unchecked for so long.
That he was a pedophile on a massive scale. Multiple children, and they allowed him to continue doing it and placed him in positions where he could just continue to do it and live his life without any repercussions.
WWL-TV and the Times-Picayune New Orleans Advocate obtained the prosecutor's file for that case through a public records request. More than 10,000 pages of documents, and what they show is shocking. Rape or molestation allegations against Brignac from 27 different children, from as long ago as 1963 all the way up through 1987.
That is the part that breaks my heart so bad, because I was the first one to expose this guy. I tried to stop him. My family tried to stop him. Look at the devastation he caused.
By 1960, Brignac had been kicked out of the Catholic Order of Christian Brothers. Brignac told the Archdiocese it was for reasons of health, but his twin brother, a priest named H.L. Brignac, later told police that George was dismissed, quote, for being too friendly with boys.
Okay, so that was the reason. Okay, see, that's just another proof, of the way that this guy operated, is that he didn't stop.
In a 1988 letter to then Archbishop Philip Hannon, Brignac writes, quote, I realize that for the good of the church and for my own personal good, I must not be allowed to be put in a position of authority or supervision of or work with young boys in the future. That year, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops imposed a new safe environment plan to weed out potential child predators. But 7 years later, church records show that Brignac was back on the Catholic altar here at St. Mary Magdalene Church in Metairie. Brignac filled out this questionnaire in August 2009 in accordance with the Safe Environment Plan. On the form, Brignac again admits the accusations, saying he has been accused of inappropriate touching of students. He admitted being released from the school and arrested but not convicted. But he completed the one-day training, and Father Robert Massett, then the pastor at St. Mary Magdalene, approved Brignac to read at Mass as a lector and to volunteer with the Knights of Columbus. In a phone interview, Massett told me he believed in second chances. But when the newspaper reported that Brignac had been allowed to return to Mass here, Archbishop Aymond told a then-retired Massett that he, quote, did the wrong thing. Massett said he never allowed Brignac to be alone with children, but documents in the prosecutor's files show Brignac was attempting to make friends with a child who was in a wheelchair, and that Brignac spoke to St. Mary Magdalene students in 2017 about a special children's service.
That is sickening to know that he wormed his way out of it the whole time. They supported him. They backed him up.
Archbishop Gregory Aymond was a few months into his tenure then. He issued a statement last year saying he was embarrassed to learn that Brignac had been let back into the church. But Brignac's alleged victims say Aymond should have known.
To not know that George Brignac was still involved with the church is unacceptable. Negligence or dereliction of his job.
Anything to do with this has to go through the Archdiocese, okay? He has to know what's going on. That is paperwork, it's on file, it's there.
The Archdiocese calls Father Massett's approval of Brignac to serve as a volunteer and lector, quote, an error without justification. The Archdiocese also says it never received the safe environment forms from Brignac that Father Massett signed in 2009. The church says it now has an electronic system that automatically flags any issues that raise concern. And as David mentioned, Brignac was questioned and investigated multiple times over the years. The first allegations of his molestation began in 1977 and was suspended from the clergy in 1988. 2002, Brignac is removed from the clergy permanently. In 2019, NOPD arrested Brignac on account of first-degree rape. He pleads not guilty and post bail. Well, this spring, roughly 24 men were prepared to testify, but the pandemic forced courthouses to close. On June 29th, Brignac died and never faced criminal punishment. And if you'd like to see a full timeline into Brignac's life and all of the times people came forward accusing him of rape or molestation, we have that on our website, wwltv.com.